we are going to move on into our final topic, though. We're going to stay in the AFC, but we're moving from south up to the north. And even though if you're listening to this on YouTube, we didn't mention this team in the title, but I want to throw them out at the beginning because technically with 4 games left, the Cincinnati Bengals are still alive.
Kind of.
You mentioned, well, technically, mathematically.
Basically, yeah.
Mathematically, they're still in there.
But let's be real.
Like you said, when we were talking about the Buccaneers, this is a team that played well. I know it's one game. Played well against the Eagles. Is there a situation where we could possibly get, because the Bengals, here's their final 4 games, if you guys don't know or don't have it in front of you. The Browns, the Steelers, the Texans, and the Ravens. That's a very, to me, the Browns and the Texans could be wins, and then it's basically what do you do with the divisional games? Hey, guess what? Or the Steeler-Raven games. Guess what? Both those games are at home, by the way, which could help the Bengals. Mm-hmm. We have the Steelers who have to play Buffalo, Cincinnati, Baltimore, and Cleveland. They could go 3-1, let's be honest. They could beat the Bills, the Bengals, and the Browns. And then the Ravens have to go at Foxborough, home against the Eagles, and then at Pittsburgh, at Cincinnati. Yeah. They could go, like, at the worst, the Ravens could go 1-3. Mm-hmm. They could only win the Eagle game. Is there a situation in your mind where the Bengals come back and they erase a 2.5 games back deficit to win the North?
No. It's really that simple for me.
I thought you were going to elaborate a little bit.
No, I don't think they will. No. And here's the other thing that you got to remember too, is that it's not just these teams. It's also the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins.
Well, I'm saying for the division.
They're not winning the division.
I'm saying erase the 2.5 deficit to win the North.
Oh, no. I thought you were just talking about the playoffs.
No, I was saying the North.
No, they're not winning the North. That's a for sure thing.
But the Dolphins and the wild card, they're also in
because the Chiefs have the wild card almost locked up. The Miami Dolphins are going to get it before the Broncos
the Bengals are still there.
Yeah, basically.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's really, to me, it's the Chiefs got it. Probably the Ravens or the Steelers are going to be the other team that gets it, but just in case like the Ravens go 1-3 or something, Miami could totally do it because they play the Cardinals, they play the Jets, they play the Bills. Easiest, a little less easy. I wanted to say easier, easiest, but it didn't work out that way.
What the Bengals, and this is why I'm saying no, and I know you guys are probably going to be like, well, Ricky, then why did you propose the question? Basically, the Bengals, to win the division, would have to go 3-1, and then have the Steelers go 1-3, which basically their one win can't be against the Bengals. And really, okay, so the Bills, the Bengals, and the Browns are the Browns is their win. So the Ravens, Bengals, and Bills would all have to beat them. I don't think that happens because I think they get the win this week against Buffalo. And then the Ravens would have to go 1-3 as well, which could happen, has a better chance than the Steelers. But
sure,
this is something where you might have caught on to something. How can the Ravens and the Steelers both go 1-3 when they play each other?
Yeah.
So, can't happen.
Yep. It's not going to happen for the Bengals. It really won't. So,
and I know that's me sitting here doing that and you guys going, well, fuck you, Ricky. Why did you throw it out there? But let's get to the real discussion of who wins.
Forget about the Cincinnati Bengals. They don't exist.
Well, that's what I was saying. Ravens, Steelers.
Yeah. Ravens here, they have a great defense. Their passing attack is pretty good.
Ever since they fired the stank. They finally gotten the stank of Mark Trestman.
It's finally aired out. The team is aired out. Rushing attack is not very good. So good defense, good passing game. Now, when we talk about the Steelers and Todd Haley, better passing attack, a little less of a defense. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have pretty much 2 dead even teams. And the Ravens, it took a while for them to get going. The Steelers, they stumbled, and now they're back. So to me, it's just asking the question, which quarterback do you like better? And which defense do you think is going to show up? I'm going to probably take Ben Roethlisberger before Joe Flacco. And I like the Ravens defense a little bit better, but I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense will show up enough because they have an easy way to do it. I keep wanting to say Cincinnati Bengals. You got them in my head.
Well,
but the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, honestly, they can go and they can win out. They can go 4-0.
They could. And to me, the thing I'm going to say is the Bengals are the spoiler here. Although they are not going to win the division, they could be the spoiler. Because I look at the Steelers' schedule, I'm giving them a win over the Bills, a win over the Browns. That puts them with the Baltimore game of, I'll say they win it at home, get the revenge for Baltimore beating them. Then it comes down to that Bengal game where it's, hey, if they go 4-0, they're pretty much in. Whereas I look at the Ravens, they have a hard schedule. They're probably not going to beat the Patriots in Foxborough on Monday night. They can beat Philadelphia. But then after that, it's 2 tough divisional games. Like, the Steelers, to me, would already have an advantage up 1 game if I gave them Bills, Browns, and then the Patriot-Eagles was a split there.
They have to beat the Steelers
already
in this case.
up 1.
Yeah.
They have to beat the Steelers and then hope that the Bengals beat Pittsburgh, but then the Ravens beat Cincinnati. So it comes down to that, and the Bengals could say, hey, you know what? We're going to play spoiler to one of these teams, because obviously if they play spoiler to one, the other one's got to win.
Yeah. So I think that the Ravens could potentially beat the Steelers. Sure, they've already done it once. And it was pretty much a dead even game of both quarterbacks threw a touchdown, both quarterbacks threw an interception. Run games were non-existent. It was a pretty even game. That one was at Baltimore. This one will be in Pittsburgh. Maybe that makes a difference. I don't know. I just think that Patriots game kind of screws over the Ravens.
Because it's almost an automatic loss. Almost.
I don't want to say
I said almost.
I don't know. It's going to be tough.
It's a 75% chance
It's
Tom
tough to
Brady
win.
wins that game. And I know what you're saying, Baltimore fans.
But Gronk.
We play him tough. B, Gronk's not there. We've beaten him before in Foxborough. You're also saying, but the Jets almost beat him. I don't care. I am giving... The Patriots, to me, they're kind of like the Dallas Cowboys, where if you have them in a pick 'em, just pick them. Because odds are like 80% chance you'll be right.
Yeah.
That's just how they are. Year in and year out. Tom Brady's a great talent. Oh my God, I feel like Sean Anderson. Somebody stop me, but you get my point.
It really just, it's another one more thing. You got to watch how things play out. Now, the question of who wins the division.
Steelers.
I'm going to take the Steelers, but I don't know that it matters because both teams are going to get in the playoffs.
Are they?
I think so. I think both will probably get into the playoffs. Miami Dolphins, I know I made the point for they have an easy schedule, but I don't completely buy them either. I'm not completely willing to jump on the Miami Dolphins bandwagon. Then it really comes, because like we said, Chiefs already got it locked up. The other team kind of has to win by default. If you don't believe in the Bengals, if you don't believe in the Bengals, I can't get them out of my damn head, and you don't believe in the Miami Dolphins, the loser between the Ravens and the Steelers kind of has to go in, right?
Well, and I'm looking at the tie-breaking right now for the wild card, and I'm more using it for the Dolphins because, you're
trying to squeeze them in.
Well, it's not squeeze them in. It's just the Broncos, to me, if I look at their schedule, they've got a gauntlet. They've got the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Raiders. They could finish
just too hard.
1-3. I'm not even going to tell you what I think they're going to do. I'm just pushing them out. It's pushing them out.
Without a solid quarterback.
1-3.
It doesn't matter how good that defense is. It's just not an easy route.
I'm just pushing them out. Like, to me, if Paxton Lynch is starting those games, to quote Patty Kane here in Chicago, not a chance. They win those games. So that would leave the Dolphins. And, you look at their last ones. Arizona could be a tough one. The Jets, I would give them a win on Saturday night. On a Saturday night game, I would almost give them a win. I know it's on the road, but against Buffalo. If they go 2-2, then the Ravens would almost have to go 2-2 just to stay with them.
Yeah.
If they go 1-3, they're behind. But if I look at the tie-breaking procedures, first they go head-to-head, which neither the Dolphins or the Ravens played head-to-head. Then the second one is the best one-loss tie percentage, or best record percentage in games played within the conference. And if we go to there, the Ravens are 7-2, and I'm quickly going to do it in my head right now. If I think they're going to lose to the Patriots and then lose to the Steelers and the Bengals, that's 3 more losses on top of that. So at the end, they would be 7-5 just in the conference alone. Then if I say, oh, okay, 2-2 for the Dolphins, Patriots are the only conference loss, so they would be, 7-5. So they would move on, and they would move on to the tiebreaker. I would go through this for days, but I would hope I'm hoping the Dolphins win that tiebreaker. And while you talk a little bit about what you think of the Dolphins and the Ravens, I'm going to figure this out.
There you go. Have fun. So, anyways, no, I mean, my biggest problem is Joe Flacco compared to Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill's already thrown 11 interceptions in this.
But that doesn't do anything in a playoff.
It does when it comes to winning, losing games.
Okay.
It does when you have to play good teams. I mean, the Miami Dolphins have an easier schedule against the Jets. Is the easiest, obviously. The Cardinals, sure, the Cardinals are not the Cardinals they used to be, but they can still turn it up when a quarterback throws interceptions. A Rex Ryan defense at Buffalo, they can turn up when they have to, once again, get those interceptions. Now, the thing about the Buffalo Bills, I have no idea what the Buffalo Bills are. I do not understand that team, but it is a team that has already beaten Miami, so it's worth saying. And then the Patriots, that's a guaranteed loss. So I know I said it's easy, but it's easy on paper. I don't really believe in the Miami Dolphins. I'm not willing to buy in on this team because it's a bad passing game. It's a good running game, but it's a bad passing game. It's a bad defense.
It's almost hilarious. I'm looking at actually they did play head-to-head. I'm stupid, so the Ravens would have the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait, they played the divisions. Yeah, the Ravens would have the tiebreaker over the Dolphins. Boom. Ricky solved
just this past week.
Yay!
And the Dolphins got destroyed.
Yay. Ricky's intelligent and
so, no, I mean,
up.
To me, it really just comes down to that. I think the Baltimore Ravens are a better team. I think they have a better quarterback. They have a better defense, that's for sure.
What's going to cripple the Ravens and really the whole tie-breaking thing, I'm now questioning how many people, when I was talking about the tie-breaking procedures, have already left comments down below how stupid I am. I can't wait.
We'll find out soon.
I can't wait for future Ricky to read those, but really for me, it comes down to one thing for me. I have the Ravens 1-3 in their last 4. I have the Dolphins 2-2. That means the Dolphins would get in.
Yep.
Boom. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
I mean, it would all come down to if the Jets or the Bills could get a upset win over the Dolphins, or if the Dolphins can play the Patriots close and get a win week 17 to make the playoffs. But to end this whole thing up, your final, I think we already gave it, but just for one more time, Steelers-Ravens, who wins the North?
It's the Steelers.
It's the Steelers, no doubt. Yeah. Only because of their schedule.
It's just easy.
Like I said, that Steelers-Bengals is going to be rough for the Ravens. I don't want to feel like I'm a Raven hater. I know Raven fans, it's going to sound like that, but I'm not. Plus that New England game, I know that you guys kind of have a rivalry with New England, but they're just better than you. And even without Gronk, I think that Tom Brady this year could get the win over you. And really at the end of the season, you're looking at that 4-game losing streak that you had and was like, man, if we could just have one of those games, we'd be sitting in the playoffs. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know down below what you guys think about anything that we talked about today. You can go hit Mark and myself up on Twitter. Those are in the description down below. Also, check out our Patreon page. Hit like, subscribe, share the video on YouTube. We're trying to get to 5,000 subs by the end of the year to kind of complete an ultimate goal for us from going from 500 to 5,000 subscribers in a single year. I want to thank you guys for checking out this podcast. Let us know what you think down below. But as always, have a good day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod for more great podcasts.